To determine the price at which you should buy to break even and how many shares, we need to consider the current situation of your ALLDY investment as shown in the image. Here's the information we have for ALLDY. Shares on hand, 4,509. Average price, PHP 0.105870. Price paid, PHP 477.37. Current market price, PHP 0.0960. Market value, PHP 428.99. Gain loss, PHP minus 48.3743. Gain/loss, percent, minus 10.13%. To break even, your total market value must equal your total price paid. Let S_1 equals current shares on hand equals 4,509p_1 equals current average price equals PHP 0.105870C_1 equals current total cost, price paid, equals PHP 477.37S_2 equals additional shares to buy P_2 equals price at which to buy additional shares C_2 equals cost of additional shares equals S_2 times P_2 S_T equals total shares after buying equals S_1 plus S_2 C_T equals total cost after buying equals C_1 plus C_2 P_AVG_new equals new average price after buying. To break even, the new average price must be equal to the current market price, or the price you want to sell at. However, the question asks, on what price should I buy to break even, and how many shares? This implies we are looking to buy more shares at a certain price, P_2, so that the new average price for all your shares equals that buying price, or rather, that the total value of your shares equals the total money you've put in. Let's assume break even means that the overall average price of all your shares, original plus new, will be equal to the price at which you buy the new shares. This is a common strategy when averaging down. So our goal is that frac C_1 plus C_2 S_1 plus S_2 equals P_2. Frac 477.37 plus S_2 times P_2 4509 plus S_2 equals P_2. This equation has two unknowns, S_2 and P_2, so there isn't a single unique answer. We need to make an assumption about one of them. Scenario 1. You want to break even at the current market price of PHP 0.0960. If you want your new average price to be PHP 0.0960, the current market price, then P_AVG_new equals text PHP 0.0960. So P_2 would be PHP 0.0960. Now we need to find S_2. Frac 477.37 plus S_2 times 0.0960. 4509 plus S_2 equals 0.0960. 477.37 plus 0.0960 S_2 equals 0.0960. 4509 plus S_2. 477.37 plus 0.0960 S_2 equals 432.864 plus 0.0960 S_2. 477.37 equals 432.864. This result, 477.37 equals 432.864, is a contradiction, meaning that it's impossible to bring your average price down to 0.0960 by buying at 0.0960 with your current shares. This simply means that your current average price, 0.105870, is higher than the current market price, 0.0960, so buying at the current market price will always lower your average, but you'd need to buy an infinite amount of shares to bring your average down to the current market price if your current average is already above it. Let's reinterpret break-even. The total value of your investment, new shares included, needs to equal the total cost. To simplify, let's assume you want to bring your average cost down to a specific price by buying more shares. Let P_target be the target average price you want to achieve. Your current total cost is PHP 477.37 for 4,509 shares. The formula for the new average price when buying additional shares is P_AVG_new equals frac S_1 times P_1 plus S_2 times P_2 S_1 plus S_2, where's _1 equals 4,509 shares P_1 equals PHP 0.105870. This is your current average, but we can also use your total cost, S_2. equals number of new shares you buy P_2 equals price at which you buy the new shares. Let's use the total cost directly. P_AVG_new equals frac text, current price paid, plus S_2 times P_2, S_1 plus S_2. P_AVG_new equals frac 477.37 plus S_2 times P_2, 4509 plus S_2. To break even, your new average price, P_AVG_new, needs to be equal to the price you ultimately sell at. If you want to break even at a certain price, say X, then P_AVG_new equals X. The most common way to answer this question is to determine if you buy a certain number of shares at the current market price, PHP 0.0960, what will your new average price be? If you want to break even, you'd ideally want your new average price to be at or below the price you can sell the shares for. Let's try to find how many shares you need to buy at the current market price, PHP 0.0960, to achieve a desired average price. Since the question asks, on what price should I buy to break even and how many share, it implies finding a new purchase price and quantity that leads to a break-even point. Let's assume break-even means your new overall average price becomes the price you bought the new shares at. This is a common way to average down, where you want your new entry point to be your average. Let P_X be the price you buy the new shares at, and your new average price. So P_AVG_new equals P_X, frac 477.37 plus S_2 times P_X, 4509 plus S_2 equals P_X, 477.37 plus S_X equals P_X, 4509 plus S_X, 4509 plus S_X, 477.37 plus S_X plus S_X plus S_2 times P_X, 477.37 equals 45 P_X equals frac 477.37 4509. P_X approx 0.10587. This calculation tells us that if you buy more shares at the same average price you currently have, PHP 0.10587, your average price will remain PHP 0.10587, regardless of how many shares you buy. This doesn't help you break even if the current market price is lower. The question is ambiguous, without a target break-even price. However, given the context of stock trading, break-even usually refers to bringing your average cost down to a level where the current market price covers your total investment. Let's calculate how much your average price would be if you bought a certain number of shares at the current market price, PHP 0.0960. Suppose you buy S_2 shares at PHP 0.0960. New average price equals frac 477.37 plus S_2 times 0.0960, 4509 plus S_2. You need to decide what you consider your break-even price. If you want to break even at the current market price of PHP 0.0960, meaning your new average price becomes PHP 0.0960, we already showed that this scenario leads to a contradiction. This implies that even if you buy more at PHP 0.0960, your average will always be above it unless you had infinite capital. Let's rephrase the question. How many shares do I need to buy at the current market price, PHP 0.0960, to reduce my average price to a specific target, say PHP 0.10? If you want your new average price to be, for example, PHP 0.10, 0.10 equals frac 477.37 plus S_2 times 0.0960, 4509 plus S_2 0.10, 4509 plus S_2 equals 477.37 plus 0.0960 S_2. 450.9 plus 0.10 S_2 equals 477.3, 7.37 plus 0.0960 S_2. 0.10 S_2 minus 0.0960 S_2 equals 477.3, 7 minus 450.9. 0.0 S_2 equals 26.47. S_2 equals frac 26.47, 0.004. S_2 equals 6,617.5. So you would need to buy approximately 6,618 shares at PHP 0.0960 to bring your average price down to PHP 0.10. Final answer considering the common interpretation of break even. Without a specified target price to break even at, it's impossible to give a single definitive answer for on what price should I buy and how many shares. The most practical interpretation is to bring down your average cost. Current average price, PHP 0.105870. Current market price, PHP 0.0960. You are currently down by PHP 48.3743. To break even, you need to either sell your existing shares at PHP 0.105870 or buy more shares at a lower price to reduce your overall average cost so that the market price eventually reaches your new average cost. Recommendation 1. To genuinely break even on your current 4,509 shares, you need the price to go back up to PHP 0.105870. At this price, your 4,509 shares would be worth 4,509 times 0.105870 equals text PHP 477.37, which is your original price paid. 2. If you are asking at what price